Welcome back, Azerothians. This week we discuss Paul Samp's departure from Blizzard, like it didn't already happen. Season 1 is ending soon, and we welcome special guest Ro to the cast. You're listening to episode number 13 of The Edge. Welcome into The Edge. This is going to be for the 6th of June, 2015. My name is Sean Clark. I'll be your host of this little podcast, and I'm known around, you know, whatever my name is on Thrall. As I'm looking at all my things right now, I'm looking around, and I'm going to skip the intro now because for some reason, my overlay does not want to work, and I have no idea why. So we're just 4 black boxes right now, which is really weird. So let me figure this out. Yeah, just, hey, Katie, show off your hair real quick while you're doing this. Ro can wave, Matt can laugh. There you go. There, very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm gonna skip this stuff. La 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 la, same things I usually say. Hey, look at that hair, or lack of hair, I should say. Oh my god. Huh? I don't know how this happened. Where did my thing go?
Monstrosity, that's what it is.
Yeah, I guess so. We're just gonna be black boxes today. So.
I was talking about overlay.
Huh?
I was talking about overlay.
No.
It's
Well,
well.
whatever. I'm gonna look at the thing. Oh my god, we are little black boxes. So anyways, what was I gonna say? Contributing author, World's Advanced Strategy Guide, member of Blizzard Watch, GM blogger, Matt Lowe. Matt, say something funny while I fix this.
I hate everything. No, I'm
Okay,
just kidding.
that's not good.
No, it's been rough. I basically called it a tier. So we're not rating for the rest of the next 2 weeks.
You're kidding.
No, we can't do it. We've been stuck at 16, 17 players for the longest time, and people are just not committing, not showing up. And it's just really difficult right now to find players who are willing to take that time. Like, they want established mythic guilds right now that are already well into it or whatever.
Right.
But they're not willing to take a chance on guilds that have done heroic Blackhand and that have already cleared all that stuff. And, they're ready to step inside, but we are literally lacking just a couple of players right now. And I've merged with 2 guilds already in the past, 2 months, and still not enough. So, yeah, it's pretty dumb. Something's got to go. Something's got to change here at the next expansion, because this is just absolutely not sustainable.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, I know. 8 years, man. 8 years of raiding, and it comes down to this, where I thought I would have to stop raiding because, maybe my career changed, or maybe I moved out, or
maybe they shut the servers down.
Or the servers, or they're done with WoW. No, I can't. I stopped raiding because I can't, for the love of whatever deity is out there, I can't find 2 or 3 solid players to help me out. God, I'm so mad right now. Anyways, enough about me.
What are you missing anyway?
Honestly, it doesn't even matter. I have people that I can flex into. I've got players that can switch from DPS to healing. So that's not even a real thing. I just need bodies more than anything else. I don't care what you do. You can stand there and auto attack. I just want to be able to step inside Mythic. Let us do the rest of it. Just show up.
He needs the bodies.
Yeah, I need the bodies.
Get him the bodies. Get him to the chopper. Get to his server.
So bad.
Matt will give you free hugs at BlizzCon.
I don't want no hugs.
No, you're giving the hugs. You're gonna be giving the hugs.
I ain't give no hugs.
Yeah, you're gonna be giving some damn hugs. All right. TGM contributor, YouTuber, Twitter fiend, live streamer, Katie, or I should say, Blizzard gopher.
Coffee fetcher.
Yeah, she just burrows her way in. You should
pocket baker.
But no,
maybe? I don't know.
seriously, every time you go there now, just add one more thing to a desk, and before you know it, you're gonna have your own little desk, and they're gonna be like, oh.
Hey, I'm fulfilling that promise that Olivia Grace has out there of cookies, I guess, because every time I stop by campus, I actually bring cookies.
Wow. Oh, you are. So you got a haircut?
I did.
Or a hair shave?
Can it be seen on stream right now, or is it all black still, or whatever?
No, I fixed it.
No, we
that's
fixed
good.
it.
No, I fixed it.
Yeah, you fixed it.
I actually did fix it. It's true.
Yeah, I know. I'm just,
No, someone else fixed it. All right, tell me about your hair shave.
I've been talking and wanting to do it for a really long time, but I like having long hair, so I decided to buzz off one side, go for the undercut and the Cressida Johanna-esque something, and be bold and different. And it's really cool. It's awesome. I'm all
Does
like,
Johanna have a tint where her hair is red?
I think so.
Well, then you have the perfect cosplay hair for it. Then, provided you go
so
for that.
because I only buzz the one side, I can actually flip it over and do the braids that she's got, so I could really roll with a red skin Johanna.
So are you gonna cosplay? Is that what you're getting at here, or no?
No. Just for kicks and giggles.
Yeah, sure. Well, we also have a special guest with us tonight. He's the host of Realm Maintenance Podcast and also co-host on Extended Maintenance Podcast. He is Ro. If you guys don't know who he is, welcome finally to the show, Ro. It's nice to have you. You've had us on your show, so take it away. Who you? What you've been doing? Stuff and things.
I'm this dorky, nearly 40-year-old, yes, I said it, WoW player who loved listening to a hell of a lot of podcasts and decided to do a podcast about all of the other podcasts out there. And it
so
went
meta.
from WoW stuff to then Blizzard podcasts all in general, because I ended up liking Hearthstone and Heroes. I was like, just let's cover all the things.
Nice.
So that's, in a nutshell, what Realm Maintenance is. It's a podcast about Blizzard podcasts.
Nice.
So you're gonna do a podcast about Blizzard podcasts at some point, or like?
There needs to be at least, I would say, 3 or 4 podcasts about podcasts for that to happen. And right now, I would say there's two. Twisted Nether and Realm
TNB.
Maintenance, I would say, would qualify. So we need like 1 or 2 more, then we can go full meta.
Yeah, that is like Inception. It's like I don't even know what is going on. So Ro, what have you been doing in the old World of Warcraft lately?
I've talked about how I haven't been playing a whole lot of WoW, but yeah, I'll do what a lot of people say they do: log in, do your garrison missions. I'm one of those crazy people who are still doing Apexis dailies when you can double up with the work order and all that. And just kind of idling, waiting for 6.2, playing a lot of Heroes, Hearthstone, and Witcher 3 more so than WoW. Raiding in WoW, so I've cleared Blackrock Foundry with a normal team like months and months ago, with an alt team of Mythic Raiders and such. But the main team that I'm in just does normal Blackrock Foundry, and we've had our struggles this tier, and it's just even on normal difficulty, I feel that raiding demands a lot more individual responsibility. And while I think that that's absolutely fine and acceptable on Heroic and Mythic, for the normal difficulty, where you have kind of that whole friends and family mentality and you have some people that are basically just along for the ride, there is a lot of potential still for people to not do their job and end up costing the whole raid progression. So it's been rough. It's been a bit of a struggle. We're probably not going to clear all the normal Blackrock Foundry as a team before the next patch from the looks of recent news, but you do what you do, and yeah, there you go. As far as everything else, just kind of waiting for 6.2, waiting for this Q&A to come up this weekend, waiting to see the WoW community, Twitter community, forum community raise their pitchforks and torches again, and all that fun stuff.
And I think I'm going to touch on that a little bit too, probably for a couple of surprise questions, hint for later. As for me, I've been doing some raiding as well. We're 5 of 10 Mythic. Working on Cromog. It sucks. Yeah. It's funny because, I'm kind of almost in your mentality now, Ro, where it's just kind of like I want to just enjoy the game at more of a casual pace. Like, I enjoy Mythic raiding, but it's like I would rather raid and enjoy it in a more relaxed setting with people I enjoy and like to be around, rather than being in a Mythic setting where they gotta min-max everything and you're gonna have to sit because your DPS sucks on this particular fight, or it's good on this particular fight, so we're gonna sit someone else. And we're not obviously a top end guild by any means. We're 15th on our server on Thrall, which reminds me, Will, who isn't here, his guild is 10th on our server. He's a couple of bosses ahead of me, so he looks like he is going to be working on Iron Maiden's Mythic. So I don't know what I'm going to do for 6.2. I think we're still going to go Mythic, but you want to talk about individual responsibility? If you've been checking out any of the PTR stuff, those boss encounters are all about personal responsibility. So that's
it is, and I'm concerned about that as far as how it'll apply to normal difficulty. Because I mean, encounters, particularly Gorefiend, the new Fell Reaver type thing, a couple of those fights in particular, the Kilrog one. There's a lot of fights where you have a specific role. The Dreadlord Iskar one, so you have to pass around that item and everything. I mean,
that's gonna be crazy.
I dig the personal responsibility thing, but I feel that I mean, you would say, well, they can just neuter that out of Raid Finder difficulty and people can play Raid Finder and stuff, but I just feel like if they designed what is now known as normal difficulty, it was originally called Flex, and it was designed for a friends and family mentality, I just feel that the mechanics should be a bit more lenient than they currently are, and it's not looking that way going to 6.2. There are probably plenty of people listening to me right now talk right now. It's like, what, you guys can't get through normal, or are you guys dumb or something? Everyone has their own pace there, and that they take the mechanics and stuff like that. It's just how it is. I mean, I can run with heroic groups probably just fine, but not everyone can. Some people just want to raid and chit chat and BS, and for people like that, it can be hard sometimes to not stand in fire at times. So,
no, I mean, I totally get it. Yeah, I mean,
but it's a DPS buff.
I don't know. It's we'll see what 6.2 comes out. I mean, who knows what they're gonna do? I mean, the Mythic 5-man should be a good option as well for guilds along those lines if they want something more of a challenge in a small, more intimate setting.
I'm psyched for those.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Kinda, I have mixed feelings. I'm excited to do them. I think that they're gonna turn Old Hat a lot faster than people think because it is still the same content rehashed. So that's kind of like meh.
It's just harder.
It's just harder, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it's going to be Old Hat. Speaking of Old Hat, Paul Sams leaving Blizzard, which is obviously something that we already know, but it's something we're going to talk about today just because everyone is talking about it on Twitter and other types of social media, the forums and whatever. So, Paul Sams, if you don't know who Paul Sams formerly was at Blizzard, he was the COO of Blizzard. He had been with the companies since the early 90s. Let's see, Blizzard was formed in 91. I think he was there at like 92.
96.
Or 96. Okay, so somewhere in there, yeah, in the 90s. So basically he was there right around Warcraft 2-ish time, like right after or right towards the end of its completion. So he's been with the company a long time. He's one of the higher up guys, or at least, he left in April, but he accepted a position at Ready at Dawn. He's not going to be the CEO, or he currently is their CEO, and they're obviously the company behind the Order 1882 and God of War. So, since he's been gone since April, it's obviously now June. I mean, do you think this has had any effect on Blizzard whatsoever in any way, shape, or form that we will see as players?
From a World of Warcraft point of view, as far as does his departure affect the direction, the way that the games are going? I don't necessarily think so. I mean, sure, he might have played a voice and a part as far as guiding the direction and anything, but even there are people to this day who say that Ghostcrawler leaving Blizzard was the best thing, or it was the worst thing to happen to Blizzard and stuff like that. And I'd still argue that one person's departure is not going to affect things in that great a manner. I also, some people felt that Paul Sams was leaving because of all the change happening with Blizzard, because all this perceived change as far as what's happening with the company. And if you do a little further research on it and you see some recent quotes from him, he says he did it because he wanted to spend more time with his family in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the things that people don't realize is that chief of operations has nothing to do with creative development, and that's actually kind of one of the funny things about Ready at Dawn is their creative studios are actually in Irvine. The operations department is what's in Austin. It's how you run your business, not what your business actually creates. So he had a big hand in handling the popularity of WoW and the millions of people that flocked to it and didn't crash and burn or spend their money poorly or stuff like that. Like, that's the backbone of what keeps a company successful, is you can have a beautiful idea, but if you don't wrangle it in correctly, it will crash and burn. So from a business perspective, that could be interesting, but the way that Blizzard currently handles their transmedia and stuff like that, I think he left it in good hands, but it'll be interesting to see who picks up that mantle.
What would be interesting to see is if whoever, do we know who's the COO now? Because I don't know who it is. Do you guys?
It doesn't look like anybody's been appointed.
Right. Okay. So that's what I wasn't sure of.
That's something that could take 6 months to a year to do.
Now, what I'm curious is, I wonder, with because a lot of people are saying, especially the prices of certain cosmetics are getting a little bit expensive.
$10 Magni, what the hell is this?
So I wonder if that has a lot to do with his departure as well. I mean, with his departure,
No.
What I'm saying, if he were still there, do you think it'd still be as high?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
No, you're probably going to say the exact same thing I'm thinking. And you're the guest here, so after you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, $10 for a Magni alternate hero in Hearthstone is pretty much along the same lines as what Blizzard's done with $25 for a mount or $10 for a companion pet. Is it overpriced? To a lot of people, yes, and there are a lot of people that will not buy it because it's that highly priced. But for all those people that won't buy it, there are enough people that are going to buy it that Blizzard's going to be fine. Their last financial report talked about how they were making more money than ever before thanks to things like these microtransactions. So I think they know what they're doing as far as the price point, even if a lot of us as players may not be too happy about it.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing to consider is that how many people are actually willing to buy every single one? Like, people, generally speaking, identify with a certain class that they play a lot. Like, I don't play Hearthstone, but I would still consider buying whatever the other mage skin is because I want to see a better mage than Jaina.
If Wilfred Fizzlebang is the Alliance or another Warlock character, done.
Exactly. Like, it's something that you buy things that you identify with. And I think that goes the same for skins and heroes or pets and mounts in WoW. Like, I have the fairy dragon, but I don't have a lot of the other ones that I find to be quite unattractive. So it's cosmetic for a reason. It's whatever tickles your fancy.
See, now, with some people's departure, it does make a difference. I mean, like Mew Cow, who's in the chat, used to work for Blizzard, right? And he said that when he left, Battle.net was unusable for weeks, clearly because of his departure. So, some people obviously make a big difference. Obviously, COOs joked. Did you guys ever see that YouTube video that went around about like the totally legit way to get the new hero skin for free? And there's a guy who like cut it out, and like printed it out, cut it out, and then pasted it, taped it on his iPad. Oh my god, that was funny. Oh god, that made me laugh so hard. Anyways. So yeah, basically I think what we're trying to get to, I just wanted to ask you that question just to kind of get a rise out of both you guys. I figured that would happen. I'm glad it did. Is that it's really not going to affect us as players. Honestly, it's not going to matter. Blizzard has a pretty good hold on their position right now. They're the leading game developer for some of the most successful games in the entire world. So it's good also to, at least if you think about it from a gaming as a whole standpoint, as our community as a whole, it's good to take that talent and spread it around. It's good to have competition. It's good because without competition, you don't have good games being made. Look at EverQuest. I mean, if it wasn't for EverQuest, WoW wouldn't have never been made. I mean, EverQuest was a huge, part of WoW being what it is. So that's not a bad thing. It's really, really not. So, but it sucks to see something like that leave. Obviously, it's never easy to see people that have been with the company for such a long time leave, but at the end of the day, there's still a lot of talent out there that will certainly be ready to take its place. So, ESPN, and we're going to talk about this a little bit, is set to release its first esports magazine. And I'm very surprised, actually, that they didn't have, like, Artosis or, someone like that on the cover, or even someone like Total Biscuit, someone who's really, really big in esports. Instead, they put on Beast Mode over there in Seattle, puts him on the front cover talking about Call of Duty. God. Figures ESPN wants to talk about Call of Duty and athletes playing video games.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
think about the target audience for ESPN.
Well, I
is,
know.
You know, physical
I know.
sports. He's the first dude for the actual sports that isn't like Madden or FIFA or something like that to actually jump into a title that has nothing to do with your traditional sports. So that's a brilliant bridger for that, because it gets people that are like, hey, I know that guy's face, and they might pick up the issue, as opposed to, who's this British dude? What the I don't even. So that was a good move to actually catch audience of people that aren't already into the esports community.
Well, the magazine is set to feature PewDiePie, Faker, Women in Gaming piece on Kevin Durant and Patrick Peterson and how they're obsessed with gaming, comprehensive analysis of growth and the reach of esports. So I guess it begs the question of, what do you think these guys are even going to cover? Do you think they're only going to cover competitive esports? And if that's being the case, what do you think they're going to lean more towards? What makes the most money, such as League of Legends? Or do you think they're even going to start covering things like, Hearthstone, StarCraft, even World of Warcraft Arena? That's technically competitive.
I guess when I think of esports, I don't associate PewDiePie with esports.
And that's where
I'm just saying.
and that's where it gets kind of confusing, because it's like, what are we talking about here? Is this going to be a magazine about esports, like actual esports? Because you have someone like Faker in there, who's the South Korean professional League of Legends player, and
that seems good to me.
That's absolutely,
that seems like something that should be in there.
That makes sense. I mean, he's made like over $1 million playing in professional tournaments. He's been known. He is known as the best League of Legends player in the world. So yes, that makes sense. But to have someone like PewDiePie in there to talk about Gamergate or to talk, I mean, like, really, is that what we're going to focus on here? So I don't, honestly though, I don't ever think you're going to see something like World of Warcraft 3's Arena in there, because everyone's going to be like, these sports guys who be like, "Bah, look at these nerds." No,
So I have to wonder if the people behind writing this magazine come from the same offices of ESPN itself. I mean, like, they were originally doing things for like some of their other publications or projects and stuff, and then someone said, hey, put together an esports magazine. I feel like this would probably have a different tone and presentation to a degree. I mean, you might still have sports players featured, of course, to kind of like bring people in, but I feel like there might have been different choices in articles, topics, and people that were interviewed if the writers and the staff behind it were brought in from outside of ESPN. But I really don't know, as far as like the people putting this together, if they could come from within the company already, or if there were people that were brought in.
Right. I mean, I was looking over this earlier, and I was looking at some of the people that are contributing authors for these articles, and it does look like it's kind of like a sporadic mix of people that are currently work at ESPN. And that's kind of what it's looking like. So they're probably like, okay, guys, who wants to volunteer for this first ever esports magazine? You're going to be famous, probably. So then they're probably like, me.
So yeah, their view and their perception of what esports is, I think, is going to differ drastically from what, people say. I'll even say it, Polygon.
Yeah.
Writers for Polygon, whatever thoughts you may have about Polygon, good or bad, writers for Polygon probably have a more accurate perception of what esports is about than writers for ESPN.
Yeah, they're going to be like, ESPN's going to be like, League of Legends isn't the NFL, 6.5 out of 10 IGN. So, I had to throw that in there somewhere.
Oh, boy.
Oh, of course.
I did love the jab that they made at Coward, though, for, the guy that was like, if we do stuff on esports, I'm going to eat my hat and quit ESPN. So I want to see his announcement any day now.
I hate that guy. But it's going to be interesting to see. Now, I did see that, good old Mr. DJ Tyrant's in the chat, and he was saying it's supposed to be just a one-off kind of a special edition kind of thing. So, but you got to figure, obviously, if we go out and buy it and it does make sales, they're going to keep it going. But it's like, do I want to throw their money if what they're going to cover is absolute crap? I think
the best coverage for esports is going to be found on the internet and on the web, and not inside a typical magazine.
Exactly. Not to mention that, like, even though ESPN is the worldwide leader in sports, that's not exactly my go-to when it comes to competitive gaming news. I would rather see a small company that's run by people that are familiar faces in the esports community, like Day9, Artosis, Tasteless, Total Biscuit, Husky, anyone that's really involved in esports, specifically stuff like League, Dota, StarCraft, Hearthstone, things like that. Then it's like, okay, this makes sense. And even if it was like ESPN wants to be, the funder of it, but as long as I have these people that I know actually doing the articles or doing the interviews, that makes me feel better. But I mean, you can already see what happened when they did the Heroes of the Storm thing on ESPN, and everyone, all the professionals at ESPN were just cutting them down. What is this crap? What are you doing? Like, this is...
Yeah, but there were a lot of people that, suddenly became interested that weren't before. And that's the goal of something like this. Like, it's esports, but we're looking at a hard copy, ink and paper magazine issue. Like, the idea is to bridge that gap, and that is the most important thing.
It's going to take years for that gap to be bridged.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we live in a Rembrandt time. I mean, it's
One
still
pixel at a time.
It's still very taboo to consider professional sports being on TV, like you would find in NHL finals like this week, or even something like the NBA finals, to have something like an esports final, like the Dota 2, the legendary invitational. Yeah. I mean, that thing is huge. It makes millions of dollars. The revenue is ridiculous. Not to mention, and this is what things like people like ESPN and other businessmen are realizing, that you can put on an amazing performance. You can put on this great televised, viewed by millions of people, whether online or on the TV, at one of the lowest production costs ever. This isn't like you're talking millions of dollars to put on the Super Bowl. You're talking about literally like 1/100th of that price to put on something you're going to make millions for.
I really have to wonder. I mean, I know that BlizzCon's going to have the virtual ticket, and it's the coverage is going to be done via DirecTV, and people have access to all those channels and championships and stuff. But I wonder if Blizzard has a plan to televise any of those championships through ESPN.
There's a good chance.
Was Heroes of the Dorm a testing ground for that? And if so, how would that all work out?
I mean, that's interesting. I mean, you can definitely tell they want to go to that market, and ESPN, I think, they've seen the dollars and cents of it all. They are starting to come around, I think, because money talks. That's the way it is in that business. That's the way it always is in almost every business. So
let's just think about some of the prize pools for some of the tournaments, even at BlizzCon itself, between 5 years ago and now.
Yeah. Hearthstone was 20 grand, right?
Year. It's dollars talk.
Yeah, so
that's where all the Mirrodin portrait sales are going to be going towards.
All the Magni sales are going toward the Hearthstone Championship prize.
Yeah. Whatever, I was confused. Same thing with skin sales too, right? Like going towards the Heroes of the Storm pools, all that.
That would be kind of, actually, now that I think about it, man, that would actually be kind of a really cool thing for them to give away. Is like if they give, how they're doing the art contest right now for Heroes, right? Yeah. If they do something like that, but they'll say, okay, anything in the shop just for you for like a year is free. Like, how cool would that be? Or like for any of their games. Like, hey, if any cosmetic stuff is on us, congratulations, as part of
like leasing?
I guess. I mean, technically, you lease everything in the United States, even DVDs.
Technically, yeah.
So, you don't own anything. Welcome to America. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're getting there. I also think it's kind of exciting because when we look back on this in the next 20 years, we're going to think, wow, how stupid was this? That we even had to talk about this, And then suddenly it's going to be on TV. It makes you think of something like, remember like Sega TV? Sega TV was like so ahead of its time because you could like play games on a channel that was already connected. You know what I mean? Like that was so ahead of its time. Even though you weren't, it's almost like Twitch, but you weren't streaming. That's basically what it was. You're playing games on your TV and you could have access to them all without actually having to buy them. So, see, Sega had it together, people. Sega was awesome.
So you don't know what he's talking about? Because I don't know what he's talking about.
Road, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, we're like the same age, right?
Yeah, I know. I shame.
If you don't know what Sega TV is, then we have a problem.
I never had Sega TV, but I had this one device you could hook up to your Super Nintendo, and it was it was basically a dial-up modem for a Super Nintendo, and you could network and play like Mario Kart against other players.
Oh man,
it's pretty cool.
Is that when it was like what, like $10 a minute on the internet?
Like 2,400 baud or something sort of like that.
Something terrible back in the day. You got mail. So Warlords Season 1, Warlords PvP Season, I should say. Season 1 is ending soon. This was just released by Josh Allen, otherwise known as Devlore, otherwise known as Lore, otherwise known as Community Manager Lore. He went to the forums and said, "Hey guys, guess what? Basically, all we read from us four, or three, and me included, is 6.2 is coming in 2 weeks. That's all we saw." We're like,
Thank
yeah,
God.
no, we're like,
Our national nightmare is over.
I know, we're just like, I don't care about PvP, but I know 6.2's coming now, and now we get to do naval battles in your garrison. So while you're just doing your garrison stuff before, now you have a new place to go to in your garrison before you log out. So look forward to that.
We heard you like garrison missions.
Oh my god,
So
dude.
now we get to play Battleship.
I hate garrisons so much. I can't wait for them to get rid of that crap. You guys have no idea, seriously, how much I hate garrisons.
It's kind of one of those things where, just like how you're saying Mythic Dungeons, it's one of those things where I'm sure I'm going to be interested and engaged by it. Probably for the first portion of it, maybe I give myself a month. Probably after a month into it, I'm going to be like, yeah, I guess I'll do it because it's free gold.
Yeah, I mean, but we know 6.2's on its way, so we're going to have a new raid. We're gonna have Mythic 5-mans, which will be old hat after a couple of weeks. We're gonna have our naval battles, which will again do the same thing. We do get to complete the legendary quest ring. That's gonna be interesting with I'm sure some interesting plot twists. Hey, BlizzCon Gopher, do you have any insight on the legendary quest? Maybe some interesting facts we should maybe prepare for.
No.
You liar.
Even if I did,
You
there's
liar.
This big beautiful thing that's called NDA that, I like having the privilege of delivering cookies to
what
campus,
she's
and I
not
would like to
telling
keep
people-
that.
What she's not telling people is that when you get to the end of Hellfire Citadel, Jaina shows up and she turns into Archimonde. She was Archimonde the whole time.
Oh,
Because Jaina is a Dreadlord.
Right?
wow. Matt, something to say?
No, I'm just no. I can't even like top that.
Yeah, that's then I don't even know what
no
to say.
way. Like what? How do I follow? What was it to follow that up with?
How do you follow up Jaina as a Dreadlord?
There's no real way to follow
Like how I can't. It's not physically possible. So I'm just.
I think that it's interesting. The whole thing with Gul'dan is very interesting. So, with in terms of Khadgar's. If you go back through, have you guys leveled? I'm sure you guys have leveled a couple alts by now, and you've been maybe working on the legendary quest line a few times, and maybe you've picked up on a few things that you missed the first time around. I know Ro has something.
No,
you pick up on?
you say a
Just
few
one?
times. Nope, just one.
Okay. Well, I have a few hundreds now, so I've picked up on a couple of things that I would think kind of weird. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't want to say anything. I want you guys to go figure it out, but just know that, when the quest logs, the dialogue's going on, and the events really pay close attention to what's being said and what's being done or maybe not done to certain characters.
Are you talking about the whole Khadgar quotation mark
Air
thing?
quotes Khadgar.
What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
So what are you guys most excited about for 6.2? I mean, we have all these things in Mythic Dungeons, the quest line, the battleship, sink my battleship. A3 hit.
I think for me, honestly, it's going to be about probably collecting more pets, as bad as that sounds.
You know what I'm excited for? Getting those faction reward mounts, the flying mounts that I'll never be able to use.
Yeah, you can grind out 150 Apexis crystals to get a flying mount.
Isn't that exciting? And you can buy a new one for $30.
Yeah.
That doesn't fly.
Hey, they changed the graphics so that it's a ground mount now.
Oh my god. I hate life. It's not fair. What is interesting, though, and I know
that tickled me a lot because I'm sure somebody got a few shoes thrown at him for that.
So Final Fantasy XIV's expansion's coming out right around the same time as 6.2. We did talk about this last show, how...
What you mean right around the same time?
It's like the
gonna be
same day.
Same time.
Yeah.
This announcement came 2 weeks before June 23rd.
Yeah.
It's happening on June 23rd.
It's gonna happen.
I would
Isn't there
bet.
some-
I would practically bet money. I will bet a magni that it comes out. On
Oh,
June
man, that's
23rd.
$10. He's throwing on the fat money.
Isn't there like some game that's coming out on the 23rd too?
This,
An actual game or just the
Like an
14 expansion?
expansion?
Yeah, the Final Fantasy, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's what I
Yeah,
mean, like,
Final Fantasy.
yeah, so like, and that's the whole point is like Final Fantasy 14's, all they're doing is focusing on flying. That's their thing. And I know we talked about this last show, but it's just like, I mean, if that's not competition, man, I don't know what is. I don't know what is.
So, one thing I want to toss at you guys really quick is Adam Holinsky, who works over at Blizzard Watch, tossed out a tweet earlier today saying that he predicts that in the Q&A they're going to actually announce that there will be flying in 6.2 in Draenor after all. Do you think that could actually happen after all this stuff, or do you think we're going to stay with the status quo?
That's a tall order, man.
I can tell you, I mean, I think that they're not going to do flying, because once they say something pretty concretely over and over again, that's a pretty, like, okay, because it's like if you're already...
I propose to you, I understand what you're saying, but given this is Blizzard, I know it's a different game, but think about the artifact system for Heroes of the Storm when it was in development. That thing got tossed out there
In development.
within like 2 to 3 days. Boom.
Yeah, that system got thrown out. But here's the issue is that, I mean, I can't tell if
There's an
Katie...
alpha patch.
Oh, there she is. I was like, are you actually talking down there? I can see your mouth moving, but nothing was happening.
I forgot to unmute.
Okay, I was like, what are you doing? You're like, la 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 la, pancakes. Okay.
Exercises. Yeah.
I
No-
like
Kegels.
Kegels.
What was I gonna say? I lost my damn train of thought. Oh, okay. So I don't think that they're ever gonna go back on that system. I mean, like I said, they're really adamant on making sure that, you know, they don't want to do it. And you're right about the artifact system in Heroes of the Storm. And the thing that doesn't make any sense about both of these correlating is that the reason why artifact system got thrown out was because of the reaction from the player base. Same issue now with World of Warcraft, whereas the reaction is very strongly on they miss flying, they want flying. And there's been actually, so if you troll through the forums long enough, you'll find some really good suggestions in there of people like, why don't you reward flying for maybe completing like Lore Master of Draenor? There you go. Not only is it forcing you to see the content, it's forcing, you know, so Blizzard wins because it's making you see everything that they work so hard for. You're winning because you're experiencing the content that which you pay in full for, you know, quoting, and then everyone gets to win at the end, of course, with flying, and everything's already 3D modeled. So
I've got it.
Uh-oh.
Instead of that silly mount for 150,000 Apexis crystals,
Yeah.
for 150,000 Apexis crystals, you can unlock flying for all of your mounts outside of Tanan Jungle. There, done. Apexis dailies will become the biggest thing ever.
Oh man, and then yeah. So I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I think that there's ways for them to do it. I think that taking it away completely is not a good idea. But I mean, I was already very, very angry about this last episode, so I don't want to try to get into it too much because Matt's gonna flip out again. So
I'm not going to flip
It's
out.
the F word for a reason.
he's gonna flip out, man. So I miss
But
it.
it's not gonna happen.
I wish they would announce it. I really do.
Get instead of flying in like 6.3.
Oh, here we
Let
go.
me ask
Wait.
you something. When's the last time Blizzard
Get
went
your
back on
minutes.
something?
Well, they don't ever tell us anything to begin with, so how can they go back on
They,
something?
That's
Matt,
not true.
I
It's been
actually
two-
have the answer for it.
There's two situations historically where they've actually gone back and said that they would reverse whatever it was that they're doing. One of them, Ro just mentioned. Can you name the other one?
Are you talking about specifically with World of Warcraft?
Blizzard, period.
Okay, so not World of Warcraft. Well, let's see. There was StarCraft Ghost that they promised us to be out. There was Titan in 2016.
Game dev.
Yeah,
There
that
was
was it.
That's not. Those are games though. We're talking like actual features within games.
the feature within
Yeah,
the game.
like the artifact system in Heroes is one.
Yep.
Are you
and
talking
then
about Real ID?
The real ID.
That's the one. That was the
Yeah.
biggest one. That one not only warranted like an actual open letter from Mike, Mr. Morheim himself, right? He actually sent out like a letter saying, "Hey, we've heard everyone. We're going to reverse the decision. We're not going to make you guys talk about reveal your identities or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this like flying does not seem to be on that scale to
I
warrant.
can give you a WoW
rollback.
example though, Matt.
Yeah, which one?
As recent as Warlords of Draenor.
Which one?
The personal loot system versus group loot in 5-man
that's
dungeons.
true.
Oh,
That's true.
snap.
They
Forgot about
changed
that one,
it,
yes.
and then the community said, no, we want personal loot in dungeons. So then within like a week, I think they turned it,
It got
back
reversed.
personal.
Yep, that's true.
There you go. Man, Ro, we gotta have you on more often.
Those things are still significantly smaller scale, though. If you
That's true, but I'm just saying it has happened in WoW. It
Yeah.
is
Not as
it is
often
a
as
smaller
people like, but it has.
Oh, you know
not
what?
as often, yeah.
That reminds me. Now that we're talking about the real ID thing, for some reason, like my brain's starting to work now. And I remember the big reason why they actually started getting rid of this was because it also connected to the forums, and it had to use your real name, and it was actually causing problems with an internal Blizzard from its staff. Because then
Yeah, someone
it's
sent Zarm like some pizzas or something.
yeah, exactly, yeah, like it was becoming a problem, yeah. So they didn't go back on it because of us. They went back for the safety of their own employees.
Because of us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
yes.
can't
I
send
mean,
them pizzas. Like, come on. Let's
I
be
wish
real
someone
here.
sent me pizzas.
Matt,
That'd be
did you
sick.
send Zarm a pizza?
Are you kidding me? Do you know what the postage is for pizzas from Canada to the U.S. is?
Well, you would have called a delivery place here.
Like, yeah, do you take Canadian debit, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't actually.
I'd rather send him poutine or something.
Oh, gross. Good old fries and cheese and gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Katie's like, what the hell is that? Sounds gross.
I know what poutine is.
Did you find out about it at Blizzard HQ?
No!
Is that what your NDA is all about?
Did you forget that I grew up in the north?
Oh, no. I grew up. I mean, no one's more north than Matt, so he's up
Great
there.
White North.
Yeah, like the movie Frozen is like a summertime movie for him.
Oh,
Wow, wow. No,
so
no.
sorry that you had to be on the show, bro.
I'm so sorry. So what was I
I'm
gonna
gonna
say?
retire after this. I'm done.
It's like, Jesus, I'm never gonna do this again. To answer your question from 20 minutes ago, no, I don't think that they're gonna put flying in the game. I don't think they're gonna make us that happy. I think they're breaking us down to build us back up. I think their next expansion is gonna be amazing. I think that they don't have a choice. They have to really come through this next expansion, or else they're really gonna get hit hard.
I think you're going to find the next expansion. I will almost guarantee that one of the leveling zones will be one where you need flying mounts in order to get from one piece of content to another one, so that they can say that in one area of the current expansion, you not only can you fly, but you need flying, but they'll limit flying in most of the rest of the zones. I feel it's going to be something like that.
Real quick, what do you think the next expansion is gonna be? Emerald Dream.
No, Emerald Dream's the fallback that everyone goes to. I honestly, I feel like just the way things are setting up in the story, I feel like this whole alternate timeline thing isn't out of gas yet. I feel like we're going to end up, if we don't go to alternate Azeroth, then we're going, in my opinion, to alternate Azeroth, or we're going to one of the home worlds of the Burning Legion. But I think the Burning Legion storyline's continuing.
Which alternate? What do you mean by? Because I mean, technically now the
Azeroth
Emerald.
that is connected to the timeline that
We're in now.
that Warlords of Draenor takes place.
Okay,
in.
I was gonna say yeah, because I mean, technically, like the Emerald Dream is Azeroth without any type of,
Right,
interaction
right.
from.
I feel like the Emerald Dream it's too easy.
It's also, I heard, I mean, every time I do research on the Emerald Dream, because I get excited when I think about it, and then I look it up, and then I remember them saying from an art standpoint, it was really difficult to incorporate because everything was green, and they didn't like that. Lore-wise, everything is green, and they actually had the systems in the game, and it was actually put in, and people were running around in it, and that's what it was. It was basically just like Stranglethorn Vale, essentially, and it was kind of like, well, this sucks, this is boring, so, but I don't know. I'm excited to see their new expansion. We know we're going to see it at BlizzCon this year. It's very unlike...
Unless they announce it at E3. I know they're probably not going to announce it. But with people talking about, like, well, we don't want to have a year of the final raid, right? So if Hellfire Citadel, let's say, it ends up being the final raid tier of Warlords of Draenor, you don't want to have a year of Hellfire Citadel. So... that means that either we're getting another raid tier, or they need to announce the next expansion sooner than BlizzCon.
Well, we got E3 in a week. We've got Gamescom in Germany in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
PAX Prime.
I mean, Blizzard could break tradition. I'm not saying they're going to. I actually consider it unlikely, but it could happen.
DreamHack is tomorrow too, right?
Oh, is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't realize that.
yeah, DreamHack, and they've been known to release big information at places like DreamHack. So we'll see. I mean, here's the only thing that would make me sad. There's one thing that can make me sad at BlizzCon this year, and I'm going to tell you what it is right now.
Garrison's next in the next.
No,
expansion.
they're not going to do Garrisons. They even know what a failure that is. They know better. Well, at least I hope I have faith in you, Blizzard, to not do that crap anymore.
I want player housing. I don't want garrisons.
They will consider. I will tell you this. They will probably
never gonna get player housing.
We're not gonna do player housing, but they're gonna continue some type of garrison system, but it's not gonna be a garrison. It's gonna be like a, hey, you can do some stuff while you're not online kind of thing. They like that idea. I think it is a good idea. They need to expand on it. I think what they're doing now is lazy, and it completely pushes away from the MMO style. I mean, I don't need to interact with anybody except for my right mouse. So not my left mouse, because that one doesn't do anything because I'm not left-handed. So that's a joke, by the way. What I would really be disappointed in is if they were like, hey, welcome to BlizzCon. Here's a big announcement. You can play Overwatch right now. Boom, it's opened up. And I'll be like, well, fuck, now I'm stuck at BlizzCon for the next 3 fucking days. Look, you know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me? Like, now I can't go home and play Overwatch, and now I'm sad. So that's the only thing that's
beta is supposed to start in fall, which means that it can start anytime between late September and late December.
Right.
So they could say beta begins at BlizzCon. It's possible. But considering that there are multiple games happening, Blizzard is working on multiple games at the same time, I don't think that Overwatch is going to be the only thing. Is Overwatch going to get a lot of hype and focus this year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably. But I think they need to put just as much emphasis on both Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm. That said, the concern that you have is still pretty valid. What if they put a whole bunch of emphasis on games that are not WoW?
Well, I mean, I kind of felt bad like last year for Diablo 3. I mean, that that got like no love at BlizzCon last year, man. Like, seriously, it was bad. And even Legacy of the Void. Now, granted, that being said, StarCraft 2 Arena, in the actual arena, was hopping. That was awesome. I was with Matt actually for a few games we watched, and it was a lot of fun. The presentation of it all was great. The caster's great.
That stage is amazing.
Yeah, it was out of this world, absolutely phenomenal. Now, that being said, that's completely separate. That's esports. That's the hype of esports.
Esports.
Yeah. Now, if you go into the actual convention and you go into this Legacy of the Void lines to play Legacy of the Void, there was never a wait to play. It's like no one gave a shit about Legacy of the Void. So I kind of hope that they give a little bit more love to those games, because I really did kind of feel bad. I'm just like, oh god, like everyone wanted to play Overwatch, everyone, and even the Hearthstone lines were longer because you could win stuff by playing them. Like you play a couple games, you win a shirt, or you win, a 4XL shirt that no one fits into. So congratulations, like I have my old Warcraft shirt. Actually, I won from that. It is like a 4XL or something crazy. Like what? Ooh, look at
that
me.
reminds me, I have some extra shirts from BlizzCon that I need to
give
do
away.
something with.
Give them to me, so I can give them away.
They're big though.
They're big. You can make a blanket out of them. BlizzCon blanket.
They're 2XLs. I have an Overwatch one. I have the gorilla from Overwatch, because I forgot his name again.
Winston,
thank you.
Winston.
And then I have the BlizzCon shirt itself.
Every time I think about Overwatch, all the blood runs out of my brain. Know what I'm saying?
No.
You're just not a fan. Huh?
No, dude, are you kidding me? I'm gonna eat, live, breathe, die at my computer playing Overwatch. It's gonna be bad. I'm very obsessed already. You gotta understand, before we go, because I'm gonna. It's already 8:50. I was a big shooter. I was a big FPS person before I got into Warcraft. I was like back in the day. This may be something you remember, Ro, from back in the day. MSN Gaming Zone was the big place to be. Man. Yeah, dude. I was rank 1 Rogue Spear. I was the guy. I was the man. I was a part of a big guild called FallenAngels.net. And actually, they're still up and running right now. And it was I used to always be in tournaments and 1v1s and teams. And so FPSs are my thing. And I'm so happy that Blizzard's finally putting out an FPS. I am going to... Dude, I mean, I already have... I can feel the carpal tunnel from all the games I've played over the years. But it's going to be even worse when this comes out, dude. Like, I'm going to go through surgery probably just so I can play.
Wrist guards ready.
Oh, God. I'm going to need them. I can't even play Guitar Hero. I played Guitar Hero Dave & Buster's the other day, and my wrist felt like it was like couldn't move at all. It like seized up on me. I'm like, great. I'm old. Well, that's what you have to look forward to, folks. Being old. So, any shout-outs? Ro, you want to go first? You're the guest. Do you have anything nice you want to say? If not, where can we find you? How do we get a hold of you? Where do you reside on the internet? Kind of thing.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. It's a pleasure. And Pally's not sick. He's just out of town, right?
Yeah, he's
closing on his house. Yeah.
yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, that's
He's got
definitely a
other
good reason to
things
miss
to
a
do.
podcast.
Yeah.
So shout out to Pally for closing out on a house and giving me the opportunity to sit in.
Yep.
And just
Life.
a shout out to all the people on Twitter who were saying things to me such as, "Oh, I can't wait to see you at BlizzCon," when I decided months ago I wasn't going to go to BlizzCon. And over the past couple of weeks, people are like, "Oh, I can't wait to see you at BlizzCon." I'm like, okay, fine. So I booked a flight tonight to Anaheim.
Makes you feel good. It's always a good
Yeah,
feeling.
I mean, it's awesome to have a lot of people there excited to meet me, and I'm looking forward to meet them also.
Yeah.
And really quickly, if you want to check out my podcasts, I do 2 of them. Realm Maintenance can be found at realm-maintenance.com. That's the podcast about Blizzard podcasts. You can also find me on a specifically WoW podcast called Extended Maintenance, and that's found at extendedcast.net, where myself and Alt, is known as Alternative Chat, she's a co-host of the Starting Zone podcast. Her and I will usually kind of alternate every other week between focusing on one topic on one week and then handling a whole bunch of listener questions and feedback the other. We talk about all sorts of WoW stuff, rarely ever what everyone else is talking about at the time.
Now I'm going to sound kind of like an idiot, but I'm going to ask you this anyways. She's British, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I have listened to the show.
That accent is not makeup. It's
Right, okay,
made up, it's legit.
Okay, it is legit. That's what I was going to ask you because, like I said, I have listened to the show, and I'm always like, I wonder if that's real. Because if
it's quite legit. It is as legit an accent as Toll Biscuits is.
okay, I was gonna say like, man, if it's not, she's really good at it. Like really good. Like wow. All right, cool. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on there, buddy. Thank you for filling in. It's you did great, so thank you. Matt, Katie, do you guys have anything? I know Matt never has anything for anyone ever because he's a selfish guy like that. See, there you go, nothing. Katie, anything?
If anybody's going to be at E3 or is in the LA to Irvine area, I will be there for 6 days next week.
Are you bringing cookies to E3, Katie?
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Oh, you're gonna get it. You are gonna get it. I don't even know.
What?
I'm angry.
Hey! I like to bake, and I have nobody to bake for, so I bake for California, essentially, it seems like.
Whoa! What about your fellow casters here? Like, what?
Are you guys in California? No? I'll bring you cookies at BlizzCon, I promise. And then I'll
Okay,
have to
I'm holding you to this now. Cookies
Just
at
let me know.
BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chocolate
there will
chip.
be cookies at BlizzCon. There will be Blizz cookies.
So
Blizz conkies.
There's your episode title, Blizz Cookies.
Blizz cookies.
So real quick before we go, this guy in chat really wants us to answer this question, and it's gonna be interesting for us to see it. So he says, there's this girl I liked, and we do hang out with each other throughout high school. When it's the last day, I asked her for her number so we could text, but when I text her, she rarely responds. So, have I done anything wrong? No. The answer is no.
Sometimes it just wasn't meant to be.
Dude, maybe
She's
she's camping, you know? Maybe she's just not that into you, like the
not
movie.
into Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
But she could be.
If you're into someone, you will make the time for them. And if they don't make the time for you, don't make
She's
the
not
time
into
for
you.
them.
My suggestion to you is to make her jealous. Go get like 6, 7 hood rats, knock them out, boom, boom, boom. Make her jealous.
Make a whole bunch of cookies and send them to all these girls except her.
Yeah, learn
Please
to cook.
note that we cannot be held liable for any suggestions you follow, especially when it's
Boom,
from
boom,
these guys over
boom.
here.
Let me hear you say, hey, yo,
Don't
hey,
listen to them.
yo. Boom, boom, boom. Let me. Okay, anyways, so that's going to be time for us. So I'm going to go and do this thing. Episode number 13 is now in the books. If you like the show, give it a 5-star rating on iTunes and Stitcher. You can leave a comment. I still have to get to that one of these days. God, I'm so lazy. You can follow the show's Twitter at @TheEdge_podcast and our Twitch, The Edge Podcast, all one word, to keep up to date for when we go live. You can find us as well, d20crit.com. We hope you enjoyed the show. A big thank you again to Ro for being on, sir. Thank you. And also a big shout out to the live stream. You guys, Ro is great. It's always awesome for every time I look over there and I can't keep up with chat because there's too much going on. I'm doing other stuff. So also a big shout
That's
to
what I'm here for.
yeah, big shout to you actually for always keeping the peace there. So good job there, you. Until next week, guys. Actually, I lie. No show next week. I'm at the beach. Week after that, we'll hopefully have the whole gang back here, and we will see you guys.
Hopefully on the 24th?
Yeah.
23rd?
Yeah, whatever day it is. Yeah. Yeah. Patch day. We will see you patch day. But until then, we are out for now. Have a good night, guys. Peace.